The AFC West, Big Baby Sports. Welcome to the AFC Connection, your go-to source for in-depth.
What's good, everybody? It's your boy Big Baby here from Big Baby Sports, man. Got a very special guest, man. Former San Diego Charger, Shawne Merriman, man. Thank you for taking time out of your busy schedule, man. How's it going?
You got it, man. Everything good. Just getting closer to the holidays and closing the year out strong is kind of, like the busiest time of the year, but also too, I got some relaxation coming in a week, so I'm happy.
Yeah, man. I just want to say thank you for inviting or letting me get those fighting tickets, man. That was a great experience, man. The fighting, man. It was the first time going to that event that you had over there, man. And there was a lot of ass kicking that I saw over there, man. It was fun.
Yeah, man. I appreciate you for coming too, and also just to repost and stuff on social media. And it's hard to really explain how it feels there, the intensity and the action when you're that close to it. And also too, man, I know we're more of a regional promotion, but it doesn't feel like that, with our production and kind of our team that we have, man. And it's always cool for me personally because obviously I care about what people think when they come to the events because you want them to have the best experience possible. So when I hear stuff like that, it just makes us want to keep going.
Yeah, man, it's first time there and the experience was great. The cage, all the environment was good, man. I'll definitely be back there, man. 100% I'll be back. But
appreciate it.
Yeah, man, the LA Chargers, man. I'm gonna be honest, they got their ass kicked on Sunday, man. As a player, when a team gets blown out like that, what is the mindset in the locker room after if you're on the Chargers, give it 40 points, and what is your mindset in the locker room?
Yeah, you got to go back to the drawing board, and it starts literally that next day when you got that team meeting on Monday and the whole team together, and they're going to, you have the talk, and then they start breaking down the film as a team before they split up into the position because you want to see what's going on with the team. Who's not playing well on offense, who's not playing well on special teams or the defense. And so when you get a chance to see everything as a whole, it either is going to bring you together or it's going to cause more problems because certain guys out there blowing coverages or they're not catching passes or they're not reading the holes properly when they're running the football. And so this is a make or break for them because this is time to figure out who they are going forward because these next couple games are critical whether they get into the playoffs or not. I think they still got an 80-some% chance of going. But you got a big matchup against Denver on Thursday Night Football against a team and a quarterback that's firing on all cylinders and playing well right now with a lot of momentum. So you get a chance to see who you are at this current time.
Yeah, man, just the way that I saw that first half Chargers play good, but the second half, it just seemed like the offense wasn't flowing. And the absence of J.K. Dobbins is affecting us too. And Ladd McConkey's coming back, but we got to do better, man, because I'm a big-time Charger fan since when you got into the league, man, with Phillip Rivers and stuff like that. So it's the first year of Jim Harbaugh, man. What do you think? How do you feel like he's turned his culture around?
Well, for one, man, in my opinion, I think he's overachieved already. Just coming in, this is a different team. I think that most people can see that. Even in some of the games they lost this year, it doesn't feel like a loss. Like the KC loss to me personally, just watching from the outside in, they had a chance to win that game. And it all came down to a doink field goal in order for them to win. Again, best team in the NFL right now. And so when you look at things like that, it don't make you feel like they're off, especially before they brought Jim Harbaugh in. Everyone was saying, hey, it's going to take 2 to 3 years to turn this thing around. He's already beat those expectations. Now they're in a position to go forward and get in the playoffs. This is a team that won, 4 or 5 games last year. And so when you look at a team that won 5 games last year, now talk about the potentially they win, 2 of these next 3 games, which they should. They win 2 of these next 3 games and they're in. And no one saw that coming. Everybody who I talked to, and even talking to the media, they were like, hey, this is going to take 2 or 3 years before these guys turn around. And they happen to get into the playoffs. They become a team that you don't necessarily want to play because of the style that they play. Running the football, playing great defense, turnovers. He, is playing extremely well right now. That defense is turning the ball over. They can get after you, get after the quarterback in that front seven. This becomes a team that you don't want to play, but the whole goal is obviously is to get there. So they got to go out and win these next couple games in order to even make that possible.
Yeah, man. Tomorrow night's gonna be tough. Even against New England and against the Las Vegas Raiders, man. Can't stand the Las Vegas Raiders, man.
You
No,
and I
but
both.
yeah, man, I can't stand them because when every time we lose, man, it's just like Raider fans hit me up, and I saw that video, like give a Raider fan a hug. That was hilarious, you know. But yeah, man. So about if you were playing on this Charger team, like, do you feel like today's NFL is soft in today's NFL when you played or no?
You know, I always stay away from calling them soft because it's still football, right? When you
Yeah,
step
yeah,
out there, somebody
yeah,
can take your head off.
yeah.
And these guys are forced to play within the rules. And
Hmm.
so I always try to stay away from that. For one, I don't want to sound like the old school guy, like, back in the day, and we played in leather helmets and no
Yeah.
mouthpieces type of deal. And so these guys are forced to play a certain way because of the rules. I mean, I couldn't imagine going out there playing how I used to play and have to worry about if I hit somebody at a certain part of their body that I'm going to get fined or suspended.
Hmm.
And that will play a lot into how I play the game because I only played the game one way, and that
Physical.
was by getting anybody on the ground by any means necessary. Wherever I got to tackle you at, wherever I got to bring you down, I got to get you. I got to get that play ended. So having these rules in place and these constant changes on what you can and can't do, it would slow me down. It really would because I'm like, okay, how many weeks can you get fined, right? And it might
Hmm.
happen once or twice, and the fines start doubling up. Then, like what happened with Derwin James, now you become like a guy that they're watching week to week to see what you do, and at that point, man, it can really hinder how you play the game. So it'll be tough with my mentality, the way I played the game, to go out and just play. So I try to stay, like, again, I try to stay away from calling the guys soft because the rules are the rules, and they're just trying to play within them so these guys don't get penalized for it.
Yeah, man, it's a physical game, man, and it's shout out to my boy Angry Lakers fan. But yeah, man, I just love your game when you played on the Chargers when you Philip Rivers, you came in the same draft class, and man, 14-2, man, like that was one of my heartbreaking years, man. You
For
know,
all of us,
yeah,
for all of
Tom
us.
Brady, man, Tom Brady, man, Tom Brady. I can't stand him, even though he's one of the greatest quarterbacks of all time. He ruined my summers, man.
Trust all of ours, man. And
Yeah,
then too, whenever anybody bring up the fact of not winning championships, and I always try to remind them, I said, look, we had to go through Ben Roethlisberger first.
yep,
You get past him, then you got to see Peyton Manning. And now you get to the final boss in Tom Brady and trying to get there. And so the path to win a championship was always tough because, the Patriots was on an unbelievable run.
yeah,
And I still today, I still feel like our teams were better when we played them. And they just went out and win games, much like KC's doing right now.
yep,
I don't think they're that great of a team, but they know how to win. And that's all that really matters at the end of the day when you come down to it. Can you go out and win football games? So that those teams from the early 2000s, mid 2000s,
yeah.
2010s plus, where the Patriots was just finding ways to win games, remind me so much of what Kansas City's doing right now.
Yeah, just like you said, man, they're winning. Patriots winning barely back in the day. Then Kansas City. If the Chiefs win the Super Bowl, would they be the greatest team of all time in history of NFL for three-peating?
It'll be hard to fight that. To say they're not because it hasn't been done. I'm always under the impression that you got to take team by team basis, not what somebody's done over a 3 or 5 year period. You got some of the teams like the greatest show on turf that time when the Rams had Marshall Faulk and Bruce and Kurt Warner, when those guys were just scoring points. I mean, putting up ridiculous amounts of points left and right.
Mhm.
Some of those the Colts teams when they went damn near undefeated. Those are great teams, and so it's hard to really argue against somebody that wanted 3 people. When somebody talk about the greatest teams, I look year by year basis and how their teams were assembled. Like the Colts when they had Reggie Wayne and they had Marvin Harrison on one side and Dallas Clark and Edgerrin James. Like those teams were ridiculous. And,
Yeah.
Dwight Freeney at linebacker and I forgot the safety, like Cato June and all these guys at linebacker. Then I forgot the safety that is not talked about enough who played during that time.
Bob Sanders.
Bob Sanders, man. Those teams that they had, in my opinion, were some of the best of the mid 2000s. But if someone want to make the case that, hey, KC won a three-peat, then yeah, you can't really argue with that. But I take it team by team basis.
Yeah, your team, like that Charger team, man, that team was great too. LT, Philip Rivers, Vincent Jackson. That team was great, man. I just feel like you guys needed to get one, man. I was so close, man. But what was I gonna say? Let me see.
And by the way, in my opinion,
Yeah,
that 2016 we had,
yeah,
I felt like we were the best team of the decade.
yes,
And it was that we were just winning games. We were dominating people, and it's unfortunate that we didn't win a championship because that's always going to kind of be our dark cloud, and quite frankly, it's going to always be a hard argument that I have to make and argue with people about me saying that. They say, "Oh, well, you guys didn't win a championship." Well, it's true, but if you look at not only stats but how we were winning games and the amount of stars and Hall of Famers that were on those teams, I mean, by far, I think we were the best team of the decade.
yeah. LT won MVP that season.
Yeah, he won MVP. I mean, Gates, I think, broke records. Phillip
Yeah, he
threw for
did.
records.
Yep.
I led the NFL in sacks, and we had big Jamal Williams there. And I think, even Sean Phillips had double-digit sacks or close to it. Luis Castillo,
Yep.
7 or 8 sacks. We had a squad, man. We had a team. But again, when you don't win a championship, it's always going to be hard to make those arguments with anybody.
But what I don't understand is, from a fan's perspective, why would they fire Marty Schottenheimer? And I don't understand. They should have just said, "Okay, we lost in the playoffs, heartbreaker. Let's regroup, retool, get some pieces, and let's go get it again." Like, I don't understand why the Chargers at the time. I think it was AJ Smith that fired him. I wonder they should have just made another run for it. Because if you guys would never fired Marty Schottenheimer, I think you guys would have got at least one Super Bowl out of that.
No doubt. We all felt like that internally too. And it was a shocker. We couldn't believe it at the time when it happened because we did feel like we were close enough to go back again the following year and really compete for a championship. And we were all shocked when we got the news. We were kind of just scratching our heads like everybody else. But again, in the NFL, you roll with the punches, man, because there are players, coaches, GMs, front office people that leave and come and leave that you can't necessarily put your finger on, and you got to just roll with the punches, whatever happened.
Yeah, man, that was I was shocked too about that. I was like, why would we fire him? We were 14-2. So come on, as a fan's perspective, I was heated, but maybe behind the scenes we don't know about, something happened. So I was just upset, but we move forward. But what would it mean to you if the LA Chargers ever won the Super Bowl?
A lot, man. I always kind of have you want them to win no matter what. Obviously, we should have won at least one, maybe not, maybe two during that time period when we were on our run.
Mhm.
But I want them to win so people can get off their back, right?
Yes.
Before the season started, and everybody's saying that the team was cheap. They don't want to pay coaches. They don't want to do this. They don't want to. Okay, fine. They went out and spent the money to
Mhm.
get a great coach and a great coaching staff.
Yep.
So they already kind of put that to rest. Then the second part is, can they get over the hump of winning a championship? And they have the team to do it. And I think they're a couple pieces away at being an opportunity to do it. But when you start dropping games that you should win, it's like it's a gut punch because the first thing that people ever want to bring up, oh, this is the same Chargers team, but it's not. But again, it's hard to make those arguments when you lose those close games. And again, they go out and win these next two or three, and get in the playoffs and start making some noise, regardless of whatever happened in the playoffs. They got there. This is a team, like I said before, this is a team that won 5 games last year. There's a lot of upside to what has happened over this course of the year with the team.
Yeah, man, this Jim Harbaugh era is good, but I was really critical, I'm gonna be real, of Dean Spanos. I was like, I was saying he wasn't spending, and then once he got Harbaugh, I was like, okay, let's go. The culture has changed with the Chargers because last year, Brandon Staley, I feel like nobody, in my personal opinion, nobody really wanted to play hard for him. You saw that, we saw it on the field, especially when the Raiders blew us out 63-21 and just all that stuff. I feel like the team said, you know what, Coach Brandon Staley, we're good. Let's get blown. That's what I feel. But from a player's perspective, like if you're on the Chargers, how would you take Brandon Staley? Like how would you take that?
Yeah, I personally, I like
player's
Brandon Staley. Personally, talking to him, he's great
Yeah.
dude to be around. I was one of the first guys he called when he came in. When he got hired, we talked on the phone for like 20 minutes or so. I was really confident in that he was going to get these guys in a better place. And he's someone that interviews well because he's sharp, he's young, he's energetic. He wanted to introduce these new methods of adding data into how we play calls and do it's like everything sounded good. So I don't necessarily fault the team for hiring him because you can only
Mhm.
hire based off the interview.
Yeah.
And he was a guy to interview well. I mean, he had me pumped up, ready to run through a wall the first time I talked to him. I'm like, this dude, he got energy, he's young. He's hungry. He wants to go out and he's bring a lot of confidence to the team. And it felt that way starting out. And I think that as it got further along, especially when his back was up against the wall, you started to see that he wasn't ready to be a head coach. And you saw it was more apparent later on this last year, the interviews he had in the media where he didn't want to ask. He was snapping back at the reporters.
Yeah.
And I'm like, none of us like going behind the mic, man, when you lose or something
Mhm.
happened. You don't want to talk. I mean, but it's also part of their job. It's the responsibility you take on as being a head coach. And so when reporters are asking you simple questions like, hey, what happened out there? And you snap back at them, it just shows you're not ready to be in that position. And ultimately that was the case.
Yeah, man. I started to see I saw greatness in Brandon Staley when he first came with, offense. Defense was playing good. But really, to me, my personal opinion, what really kind of backfelled was that Jacksonville game. I feel like that was kind of the end deal when we were up
Yeah.
27-7. I think it was 27-7, wherever it was. That right there is just, still have nightmares about that game.
Yeah, you could make a case he probably should have been let go right after that game, right?
Yeah,
And also I think that was a part of the reason why Tom Telesco got fired because that was his guy that he stuck with.
yeah.
And wanted to continue forward after that showing. And
Mhm.
there's a different feel. I mean, even talking to Joe Ortiz, man, if the GM, if you talk to
Yeah.
him, you feel like you're talking to a player,
Mm.
right? Like he
Mhm.
has that kind of aura about him. Like he's a football guy. And one thing about AJ Smith, we've had our personal problems behind closed doors, and some of it public. AJ Smith was a football guy. He knew football. He loved football. He knew how to evaluate talent. And you get the same sense with Joe Ortiz, but he doesn't have a temperament of taking things personal. And that
Yeah.
was AJ Smith's main thing. If he personally didn't like you, he was going to do something about it. And if he had a personal vendetta with you or got emotional over something, he was going to do something about it. And you don't get that feeling for Joe Ortiz. Like he wants to win. And the best player is going to be there. The best coach is going to be there. The best staff is going to be there in order to win football games. And that's why this feels a lot different.
Yeah, it feels a lot different, man, and just the culture change. Like I said, Jim Harbaugh, see a different team. I see a more hungry team fighting, and all the players, Khalil Mack, playing at high level. Joey Bosa, Derwin James, the linebacker Denzel Perryman, man, he's playing at a high level too, man. He's coming back tomorrow. So tomorrow, I feel like in my personal opinion, tomorrow is a must win against Denver because Denver's slowly but creeping up, man.
Yeah, no doubt. I mean, and Denver, they got something about Nix.
Yeah.
He's going to be a guy that's going to be around in hell in that division for some time, and you're starting to see flashes of him just getting a lot better. And one of the things that stood out with me in watching him and just Sean Payton, their relationship, there's a respect level that's there that wasn't there for Russell Wilson. So you know that they're going to be good in the future. They get some more pieces. So that division is going to be tough, regardless, because you still got Patrick Mahomes there. You still got Justin Herbert there. And you got to think that the Raiders are going to go out and draft a top quarterback in this year's
Yeah.
draft. So they're going to be able to compete there soon, at least at that position. So I think the window is open for the Chargers to make a run at some point here in the next couple of years, especially adding a few more pieces. I think at some point they're going to go out and get a big wide receiver in the offseason. There's been a lot of hate with Quentin Johnston that I understand if you want to talk from last year, but this dude has made tremendous leaps and bounds this year and being accountable and someone to make plays. He had some drops that you like to have back, but he is nothing like he was last year. Nothing like. And he's more reliable. And I think that as he keeps going, he'll be a solid number 2 or 3 wide receiver. And you got Ladd out there. You go get you a Higgins. You go get somebody in the offseason that can come out and be your solid number 1. Now you got a receiving core that obviously Justin Herbert can throw to. They can run a football. They're going to block, and their defense is going to keep playing well. And you hope that Jesse Minter stay around, the defensive coordinator, for a longer period of time to see this thing out.
Yeah, man. He got that Charger defense playing at a high level, man. Charger defense is flying around, getting turnovers, man. The rookie that we got from the 4th round, he's playing at a high level this year too. I like his game. I just like this Charger defense, but I feel like tomorrow's a must win, and then after that, we can see what's going on next for the Chargers, man. Because Chargers football's back. Because I just had a hard time with this team last couple of years, but the fandom is starting to come back, man.
Yeah, you can tell. Look, I was with them all the way up from the move from OC and StubHub, right? And seeing that stadium at 40,000 people in there, and 50% of it was other teams' fans.
Yeah.
And then now when they made the move to SoFi up in LA, that fan base has grown considerably. And there's an 80-20 in there where it's Chargers fans, and LA's a melting pot. You're gonna have other teams' fans there and stuff like that, but you starting to see, man, the fans are coming out and rooting for Justin Herbert and Bosa and all these guys, stars that they got. And that's going to continue to grow. And that's only going to grow by you winning football games because, it's LA's a fickle town where they like winners and they want to come out and support winners. So you got to go out and support them. If you're winning football games, they're going to come out and support. That stadium's just going to keep growing. The fan base is going to keep growing, and it's going to be around for a long time.
Yeah, man. LA is all about winning too. You got the Lakers, you got Rams, you got USC, UCLA. So it's like Chargers gotta be the talk of the town, man. We gonna get one in Jim Harbaugh era. I strongly believe we're gonna get.
I believe so too. I believe. Just look, none of us got a crystal ball, right? No. We don't know what's going to happen, but you have to think with his resume and his experience and what he's already done with far less. I mean, when he came into to the 49ers, they didn't. I mean, nothing against Kaepernick, but he ain't Justin Herbert.
Yeah.
Right. They got Patrick Willis and stuff there, but in some of these other positions, man, the Chargers are much better as far as talent, and so he's working with a whole lot more. So you got to think that in these next couple of years, they're going to make a real run to be real contenders. And I would not, if they get into the playoffs this year, they go and take care of business tomorrow.
Yeah.
They go and get things done. I believe that they become the team in the playoffs that teams don't want to play just because of the style of football they play, keeping the games close, great defense, running the football, taking the shots downfield when necessary. You hate playing teams like that because it's going to be a fight and a dog fight to the end.
Yeah, most definitely, man. Football is all about grinding out games and like momentum. I feel like, me personally, I feel like football is all about momentum. Like, let's say if the Chargers play the Buffalo Bills, right? If they beat Buffalo, they can go on a run. That's how I feel. I feel like and the playoffs are all about momentum. What do you think?
100%. It's momentum and also health. I was watching today. It was trying to come up with a plan to see if Patrick Mahomes and some of these guys should rest the next couple of games because they're all clinched. I don't necessarily believe in fully resting guys. I believe in giving them way less snaps, but you want to keep them in that regimen. But as long as the Chargers get in the playoffs and they're healthy and they keep doing what they're doing, they become a problem. And the first step is getting there. They got to go out and take care of business in the next few weeks.
Yeah, most definitely, man. I'm excited. I'm pumped up. But Herbert, man, what's the ceiling for Justin Herbert, man? Like I know he's playing at a high level, but what does he have to do to elevate his game to the next level, to be in the Patrick Mahomes, Lamar Jackson's conversation, Josh Allen conversation as well?
Herbert is a tough dude, man. He can take some hits. He's a big dude. I remember meeting him his rookie year when he came in, and I was almost in a way looking up at him just a little teeny bit because how big he was. I couldn't believe it, the size of him. So, health for him is going to be one because he takes some time, unnecessary hits because I think he knows he can sustain it. So he has to stay healthy. He got that, that bum ankle right now that he's, kind of limping around a little bit and trying to keep healthy. And then Thursday, having a turnaround on Thursday night game don't help a whole lot. But for him, is really getting targets, right? I think he found a gem in Lab McConkey. And a guy that's going to be around, and he reminds me a lot of like the Edelmans and the Amendolas who I played against in New England, who was just a nuisance, right? Just hurt you in any possible way they could. And they wasn't always, deep threat guys or guys that would hit you far down the field, but they find holes in defense, sit down and make you pay for it. And that's what Ladd is to me. He's a security blanket for Herbert. Now they need to find a guy that can stretch the field, cause a problem down, stretch the field a little bit, let Ladd work, and then, find that next receiver who can step in. Palmer's been playing, I know he had some big drops over the last couple of weeks, but he also made some plays. But I do think they'll go and search for another big play guy during the offseason.
Yeah, man, that's going to be a good fit for us, whoever we get. There's rumors of T. Higgins and a couple other players, but I'm just excited for the Chargers game tomorrow, man. Are you going to be at the game?
I'll be there, yeah.
All right, man. Yeah, thank you, Shawne Merriman. Go ahead and give your plug for your social media, man.
Yep, at Shawne Merriman on all social. And also, make sure you guys follow and download Lights Out Sports TV. It's my new free ad-supported streaming service that you can get anywhere on any smart TV device you got out there, iOS, Android. Tons of free live sports, and Lights Out Extreme Fighting is now exclusively live on Lights Out Sports TV. So make sure you guys download that.
All right, man. Thank you for tuning in, man. Appreciate you.
You got it, man. Thanks for having me.
Mm-hmm.